This is your 60-minute class. We will start in child's pose. Come to the back half of your mat. Spread your knees as wide as comfortable. Bring your big toes to touch and extend your arms forward. Resting your forehead on the mat, begin to breathe. Close down your eyes. Remove all distractions going on in the world outside of you as you begin to shift your focus to your breath. Begin to feel your breath as it travels in through your nose, down your throat, and fills your lungs from top to bottom. Work to fill every inch of space. Feel the pause with the lungs full of air, and then exhale to let it all go. Once you've taken a few cleansing breaths, seal off your lips, breathe in and out through your nose, constricting the back of your throat, giving an oceanic sound to your breath. If you're new to this practice, I encourage you to watch this video one time through without attempting to practice with me. This will help you to get an idea of what the shapes look like so that when you begin to practice on your own, you're able to listen rather than watch. If you have been practicing for a while, remember, it's not about how the shape looks, it's about how it feels in your body. The simple repetition of the movements builds muscle memory in the body and helps us to release areas of tension and tightness. Coming to the power of the breath creates a sense of groundedness, a sense of power, and establishes the connection between the brain and the body. It gives you a point to focus on. Taking deep breaths in through your nose, filling your lungs all the way up to the top. Hold it in for a moment. Exhale through your nose, constricting the back of your throat. Beginning to give oceanic sound to your breath, Ujjayi Pranayama. When you're ready, shift forward to all fours, stacking your shoulders over your wrist, hips over your knees. Begin your flow of cat and cow postures, using your inhales to take you into cow. Drop your belly, lift your gaze, pull your collarbones apart. Exhale, cat, round your spine. Think of being like a scary Halloween cat, really arching your back. You can take this flow as fast or as slow as feels good, and feel free to add in any extra organic movements. Downward facing dog, pedal out your feet, shake your head, move around, do whatever you need to do to get out all the snap, crackle, and popping sounds out of the body. We want to work out all the initial tightness and stiffness so the body can settle into the deep stretch across the front and back line of the body. Remember to gaze between the shins, not up at the hands to avoid cranking the neck. Reach your right leg high to the sky, bend your knee, open your hip, circle it around if that feels good. Step your right foot between your hands, bring your left knee down to the mat, and lift your arms over your head. Half splits, send your hips back. Low lunge twist, left hand down, right arm high. Exhale. Back to downward facing dog. Left leg high, breathe in, bend the knees, stack the hips, circle it out if needed. Then re-extend the left leg, step between the hands, drop the right knee down. All one inhale, arms reach up. Half splits, exhale, hands come down for support. Flex your toes to your face. Inhale, low lunge twist. Left arm to the sky. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Take a few deep breaths here in your downward facing dog, and then walk your hands back towards your feet. Taking your deep forward bend at the back of the mat, you can sway side to side or again shake your head. Imagine that you're just pouring your brain out onto the mat, letting go of any distracting thoughts. We work to just be present in your body here, focusing on how each shape feels, not how it looks. Take a deep breath in, reach your arms up, grab your left wrist, stretch to the right. On your inhale, come back to center, switch wrists, and stretch towards your left. Coming back to center, fold forward, halfway lift, walk your hands forward to your plank. Stack your shoulders over your wrist, your heels over your toes, and straighten your legs. You always have the option to take your knees down for support. Pull your navel towards your spine to strengthen your core. Drop your knees down, chest and chin down. Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Lift your chest as you try to pull your heart forward towards the front of the room. Exhale, down dog. Going through your knees, tuck your toes, press your hips up and back. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Back knee drops, arms up. Exhale, half splits, hips back. Inhale, low lunge twist. Left hand down, right arm high, back knee lifts. Exhale, down dog. Left leg lifts on the inhale. Exhale, low lunge. Back knee drops, arms reach up. Big inhale. Exhale, half splits. Flex your toes to your face. Inhale, low lunge twist. Left arm high. Exhale, down dog. Press back. It doesn't matter what speed you do that at. Do what works best for you. Remember to go with your breath. Breathing in your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, step to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold, belly to thighs. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Equal standing balance. Inhale, lengthen, reach up. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low, back knee down. Arms reach up, look up. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, pyramid. Straighten your left leg out. Try to bring forehead to your shin. Couple of breaths here. You can keep your back leg where it is. Work to pull your left hip back. Point your right hip towards the ground. Give yourself a few moments to really feel it in your body. And then step your left leg high. Bend your knees, stack your hips, stretch it out. Re-extend on the inhale. Exhale, left foot steps, right foot follows, fold. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, back down, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the left foot back, knee to the ground, arms up, inhale. Exhale, half split. Inhale, low lunge twist, rather pyramid pose. Forehead to knee, straighten both legs. This is a hamstring stretch for the front right leg. Work to press your back heel towards the floor, but if it doesn't touch, no worries. Breathe into where you're feeling sensation in your body, the place that feels tight. Visualize your breath going there, working to create space in the tight muscle fibers. Recognize the power of the mind-body connection as you visualize what your breath is doing for space. Inhale, extend the right leg high, bend the knees, stack the hips, circle if you need it. Re-extend on the inhale. Exhale, step right foot, left foot, and fold. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Arms start to your sides. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. Second breath, inhale. Exhale. Third one, inhale. Strong exhale. Fourth inhale. Big exhale, look forward, walker step. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Back down, fold, halfway lift. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Pull your shoulders down and back. Exhale, downward facing dog, rolling over the tops of the feet. Breathing here. Anywhere from 3 to 5 deep breaths. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, walk or hop to the top of your mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to your sides. Repeat, arms reach up on the inhale, fold on the exhale. Halfway lift is the inhale, chaturanga is your exhale. Upward face, inhale, downward face, exhale. Again, go with the own capacity of your breath. Inhale, travel forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, chair. Hold, breathe. Bend your knees. Press through your heels and your big toe. Imagine your feet are trying to rip the mat apart as you sink your tail towards the earth. Fold on the exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, back down, chaturanga, all one breath out. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left foot steps. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga, all the air out. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Cleansing round of breath. Inhale, heels lift, bend the knees, walk or float. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair, one breath up. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right foot, warrior one, rise on the inhale. All the way to chaturanga on the exhale. Inhale, up dog, feel the pause. Exhale, down dog, step on the pause. Inhale, rise. Exhale, all the air, breathing as you move. Pause is low plank. Up dog is the inhale. Downward dog is the exhale. Not working to perfect the poses, just have fun moving your body. Back to the top of the mat, chair pose. Twist to the right, hands at heart. Hook your left tricep or elbow outside of your right thigh. Keep your knees squeezing together, ankles, shins, and thighs glued together. And if it's possible, look over your top shoulder towards the sky. Keep your legs steady, come back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Right tricep outside of your left thigh. Make sure the knees stay glued together. You want to avoid letting your right leg scoot in front of your left. With every inhale, suck your belly in. With every exhale, push against your leg to twist your spine. Fold on the release. Flow through your chaturanga or take your crow. Crow is one of the first arm balances we teach. I will do a separate video breakdown for crow. If you have a solid crow in your practice, go ahead, add that in here. Float to chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, step forward, warrior one. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, warrior two. First time in warrior two, you can take any initial movements, fidgeting. Again, you want to take out all the stiffness to find the shape, and then hold for steadiness and strength. Once you found your shape, commit to the hold. Resist the urge to fidget or move. Your inhale, reverse warrior. You want to keep the lower half of the body exactly the same, stretching the right hip and rib apart. Side angle exhale. You can just take forearm to thigh for the first round. Press through the pinky side edge of your back foot, heel. And press through your front heel, keeping the 90-degree bend in your front leg. Hold the stretch all along the left side of your body. Low lunge twist, left hand down, right arm high. Spin your back heel over your toes. Hug your front shoulder close to your knee. You can add in a horizon lunge here. You flex onto the pinky side edges of the feet. Then coming all the way back around, Skandasana, back of the mat. Left knee bends, right leg straight, right toes flex. Taking this side to side a couple of times, getting deep into the inner hips. Face the back of the mat, standing splits. Reach your right leg to the sky. You can add a couple of toe taps here. This is a core exercise. Think of drawing your right thigh into your hip socket and then fold forward. Rise on the inhale for chair. Twist to the left this time. Right tricep outside of your left thigh. Hook as high as possible on the right arm. For an extra challenge, lift your heels. Keep your ankles squeezing together. Back through center. Twist to the right. Left tricep, right thigh. Notice if your hips are twisting. So mine are a little bit in this video. You want to avoid that. You want to keep the lower body in your chair legs. And work to twist from the middle of the spine. Back through center, forward fold. You can add another crow pose here if you'd like that second arm balance. I'm kind of out of the screen. Hold for 3 breaths, and on your exhale, shoot back to low plank. You want to bend the arms and press the legs back. Think of the hips shooting up when you do that. Left side, warrior one. Always rise on an inhale. Warrior two, exhale. First one, settle in. And then hold for strength. I want your gaze over your left middle finger here. Work to steady the eyes. I say wandering eyes is a wandering mind. So if you work to steady the gaze point, it's another point of focus for the mind. It's another element of challenge as well. Reverse warrior, a couple of breaths. And side angle, forearm to thigh, right arm to the sky. You want to find a diagonal line from the back edge of your right foot all the way up through your right pinky finger. Try to make that line straight as possible while pressing your left hip towards the wall in front of you. Low lunge twist, back heel lifts. Hug your front knee close to your front shoulder to feel the stretch on the outer left IT band. Rise and lunge for that outer hip stretch. Feel it in the left outer hip. Low side lunge, front of the mat. Right knee bends, left toes flex. Lift your chest up. And then switch, back of the mat. Right knee bends, or rather left knee bends, right toes flex. Back to the top. Pivot to the front of the mat, standing splits. Back leg lifts up to the sky. You can hold or add your toe taps. Try to do this with 2 straight legs. It's pretty challenging. You release in a forward fold. Big toes to touch. You can soft bend the knees. Lift your heels up high. Try to balance here on your tiptoes, drawing your knees as close as possible towards your chest. We'll meet in boat. Your boat pose is a core balancing pose. You can grab behind your thighs, squeeze your legs together, lift your chest up. Bring your big toes to touch, gaze at your toes, extend your arms forward. For more of a challenge, straight legs. Relax your face, steady your gaze. Take it down to low boat, hold, keeping your chin off your chest. Have a slight tuck of your chin. You want to avoid tucking your chin to your chest. And then when you lower down, draw your right leg into your chest. Take a few circles here. And take your supine twist. Draw your right leg across your body. Keep both shoulders flat on the mat. Come back to center. Hug your right knee in. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders up. Taking your single leg, body's bicycles. You want to keep the gaze forward between the thighs. Take about 10 each side. Draw the knee in, keep the shoulders lifted, point your toes. After you've done 10 each side, keep the left knee into the chest, lower the head and shoulders back down. Roll out your hip here a couple times, then take supine twist. Draw the left leg up and over across the body. Gaze over your left shoulder. If it feels okay in your neck, it's just an option. So always do what feels best in your body. Never try to force your body to do something it's not ready. Just work to do the best you can. It's never about being able to do a particular shape. It's really about using your breath to have fun. Taking your knees together, extend your arms over your head, keeping your legs together. Draw your knees to your chest, squeezing everything tight. On the exhale, inhale, you stretch everything out. Challenge here is to keep the shoulders off the mat as much as you can. Quite a challenge. After you've done 10 of these, you'll plant your feet down on the mat. Press your back flat into the mat. Feet down, bridge pose. Lift your hips up to the sky. Imagine squeezing an invisible block between your thighs. Press down through your heels. Pull your chin away from your chest. Imagine tucking your tail under. You can take a couple pulses in the hips here to engage and fire up the glutes. Always an option to bind your hands under your back, rolling your shoulders under. Try to get your palms to touch when you take this variation. From here, bring your feet together to touch. Squeeze your knees and thighs together. Extend your right leg and hold. Dig through your left heel. You can point and flex that lifted foot. Work to squeeze the thighs together. This is much more challenging than it looks. Really dig through the left heel. Keep both hips level. Avoid letting your right or left hip sag towards the ground. Press through the shoulders. Find your bridge with legs together and then extend the left leg. Same thing. Keeping the knees and thighs together. Dig through the right heel. Keep your hips lifted up. The more you press through that grounded heel, the more you will feel it activate your glute. You're looking for a muscle activation here, creating the mind-body neural connection from the brain to the muscle. Remember to breathe. Breathing will help you to relax among chaos. You can take that skill with you whenever anything in your life is stressful. If you want to take full wheel, bring your hands by your ears, press all the way up into your wheel pose. Try to keep your feet facing forward as much as possible. For more of a challenge, straighten your legs. Try to press your heart through your arms. When you're ready, come back down. Take a moment here to let your spine reset. Avoid hugging your knees to your chest right after a wheel pose. I'm going to give your spine time to neutralize. Eventually then bringing the knees into the chest, legs extend to the sky, hands behind the head. Lifting the head, neck, and shoulders off the mat. You will lower and lift your legs together. And only let your legs lower down as far as your back can stay flat. So if that's not all the way to the ground, that's okay. But what we do not want to happen is for your spine to lift way off the floor. You should not be able to slide your hand under your spine. Think of your spine being pressed into the floor. After 10 of those, we switch into the yogi bicycles with straight legs or bent knees. As you twist, you're trying to look to the back of the room. Really twist all the way through the eyes. Point your toes. Press your hips into the mat. When you finish, rock and roll a couple of times forward and back, length of your spine. Giving your spine a nice massage. After 3 or 4, step back into your plank, chaturanga, up dog cobra, downward facing dog. Adding on to our flow. Reach your right leg to the sky. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior 2. Settle in for the exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior. Feel the stretch. Exhale, side angle. A little bit deeper this time. Fullest expression of side angle is hand flat to the floor, armpit to kneecap. Taking the hand to the pinky side edge of the foot is the Ashtanga variation. Press your arm and leg into each other. Press through the pinky side edge of the back foot. Extend through the top arm. Feel a stretch along the entire left side of the body as you draw your front right heel towards your left foot's arch. So you want to feel as if your heels are squeezing together, but then the pinky side edge of the foot is strengthening long. Come back up, turn your feet to face the back of the mat. Left hand behind your back, right arm to the sky, exalted warrior. Bind the hands, puff up the chest. Exhale, fold for humble warrior. Look at your back foot here. Try to get your palms to touch, not just fingers interlaced, but again, take what works for your body. And find that balance of strength and grace, of pushing yourself to the edge of growth while still being able to comfortably breathe in your shape. Gaze about 3 feet in front of you. Take warrior 3. So my head is chopped out of this screen. But with your palms together to touch, you want to point your right pinky toe towards the floor. Point your right hip bone towards the floor. It's more than you initially think. So that's a benefit of taking class in person. You have the teacher to help you, or you can always record yourself to see what it looks like. You'll land in pyramid pose with your left foot staying where it is. Try to press your right heel towards the floor. You might need to adjust your feet to make that happen. You can release your hands down to the mat, or you can grab for your back leg. Breathe. You want to be scissoring your inner thighs together with both heels pressing down and apart. Revolved triangle pose or revolved pyramid pose, right hand down, left arm high. So you keep the lower body the same. You can take your right hand outside of your front leg. And if you can, you would want to reach to the floor for the fullest expression. If that's not happening, you can come to your fingertips, use a block, or even grab the front of your left shin or ankle. It's okay for your neck. Look to your left thumb. This is a really intense twist. Think of wringing out your stomach. You're going to be twisting in the middle part of the spine, not in the hips. Left hand comes down, a little bit deeper fold, and turn your feet to face the same direction, Prasarita, wide-legged forward fold. Lean into the front half of the feet here. Feel as if your hips are being lifted into the sky and your head being pulled towards the ground. Completely releasing the spine. Find space between the vertebrae. Feel as if your head is heavy. You can always have a slight bend in your knees when you fold forward. Rise up, turn forward for triangle pose. So your front foot faces forward, back foot at 45 degrees or parallel to the edge of the mat. This is for the stretch of your left hip. So if the right foot is forward, it's for the back hip. Feel as if you're pulling your rib and your hip bone apart from each other. You can extend the top arm towards the front of the room for a deeper sensation. And for more core work, you can extend your bottom arm towards the front as if you're holding a block between your hands. From here, gaze down to your front foot, bend your right knee, half moon, float your left leg to the sky, flex your left toes towards your shin, steady your gaze. This is a balancing posture, so if you fall out, no big deal. And work to feel the rootedness through that grounded foot. So the pose always starts from whatever is attached to the ground. Make sure you feel a nice strong ankle. Try to relax the toes, but press through the big toe. Feel how pressing through the big toe activates the front of the shin. To come back down, you'll bend that right knee, land in side angle, and then option to add your bind. So you want to wrap your top arm around into the side of your right hip. Try to get all 5 fingers inside of your right thigh. You're going for full bind. You'll join your hands up. Avoid dropping your chest to the mat. You're going to lean your chest back, pull your top shoulder open, and gaze up towards the sky. This can be really intense, especially if your shoulders are tight. So again, only take it as far as you can comfortably breathe. Gaze down to your front foot, step your back foot forward, bound forward fold. So keeping the bind, hands are connected. Shift the weight into your left foot, birds of paradise. Another standing balancing posture. Oops. Standing up on your left leg. Moving your right leg bound. Look forward, not down. Really work to straighten the left leg. If your left leg is straight, then you can work to straighten the right leg. That's not happening for me. And then a fun, tricky pose. Bound standing splits, keeping the bind. Try to lift your left leg to the sky. You can always release the hands. Bending your knees, left knee behind right, sit down with the legs crossed for a spinal twist. You'll have your right leg crossed over your left thigh. Reach your left arm up, lengthen the left side ribs, hook it outside your leg, and then push to twist. With every inhale, you want to find a tall spine, flat back, pull the belly out of the way. On your exhale, you want to push your arm against your leg to deepen the twist. Use your muscle strength to push your body deeper into the twist. You determine how intense this goes based on how much effort you put into it. Unwind and crawl forward. Be back to downward facing dog. We'll clear that out with a sun bee. Make your way back to the top of the mat, however you like. Fold. Chair. Inhale. Exhale. Fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Same thing, left side, left leg lifts. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, settle in. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, full side angle pose. So it's deeper than the first round. You need to stay with forearm to thigh, that's fine. Otherwise, you're taking your hand to the pinky side edge of the foot in the fullest expression. If it feels better, you can take the hand inside the front left foot, bend the left knee 90 degrees, or as deep as you can. Notice in the video, I'm not quite at 90 degrees. It's always good when you film yourself, you can see the difference, right? Because it'll feel different than it will look. So we always think we're deeper than we actually are. Breathing into the stretch for the right side of the body here. Rise when you're ready on an inhale, turn your feet. Right hand behind your back, left arm high, exalted warrior one or reverse warrior one. Left hand clasps the right, interlace the fingers, puff up the chest, punch towards the ground. Deep stretch for the shoulders here. Exhale, fold, humble warrior one. Look at your back foot. You're looking at your back foot, not at the floor, so that way the head is completely relaxed. This might feel a little intense on the wrist. Remember to breathe. Remember to deeply bend the front right leg, press through the heel, press through the big toe. From here, we rise up, lifting the chest, and float the back leg into the warrior three. Take your gaze out in front of you for warrior three. Chin off the chest. If you've been practicing this for a while, tuck the chin to the chest. Look for the left pinky toe. The more you practice, the more you realize how subtle details, small changes, can really change up your awareness. Just like how in the Bible, God is in the details. Very detail-oriented. Back foot plants, fold over your front right leg, keeping the bind. And tuck your chin here. Try to get forehead to knee or forehead to shin. If the arms become too much, you can always release them down to the mat. You also have the option to grab for the back shin or back ankle, just a different variation. Quite challenging. Revolved pyramid, left hand down, right arm high. Can be called revolved pyramid or revolved triangle, depending on the orientation of the feet and the legs. They look very similar. Pyramid is both feet facing, all 10 toes facing mostly forward. Keeping your hips level. Remember, you're trying to twist from the spine, not from the hips. And if you ever need to bring that bottom hand up onto a block or onto your shin, do so. Turn for Prasarita. All 10 toes face the same direction. So you want to make sure your feet are parallel or even pigeon-toed in. You'll feel this stretch along the back line of the legs, outer thighs, outer calves and ankles. If you have a headstand in your practice here, you're welcome to place your head to the floor and then kick your feet out up into the headstand. I think I just enjoy the stretch here. You eventually do want to get head to the floor, and that happens by leaning forward. You'll feel like you're going to take a somersault out of the pose, but your hands are always there to catch you. Turning to the front for triangle pose, left toes face forward, back foot parallel to the edge of the mat. Now think of your body like a piece of bread in a toaster here. So you don't want to lean your chest forward or back. You want to pretend like you're at one flat line. The stretch is for the right hip. So wherever your bottom hand needs to be, press your left hip towards the wall in front of you. Look down, bend the left knee, half moon, right leg floats. In the fullest expression of half moon, you would want a diagonal line from your right heel down to your head. So try to get your right leg lifted up as much as you can. Up, up, up. And you want to stack the hips. You want to roll the right hip on top of the left hip. Again, visualizing yourself as a piece of bread in the toaster. If you fall, it's okay. It's just fun. Meeting in your side angle, add the bind. You can wrap your hand around for half bind, getting the inside of the thigh. Full bind, take your other hand around, join the hands up. Work to straighten both elbows. That can be a lot. It's a deep stretch for the front of the shoulders. Look over your top shoulder. Try to expose your heart to the ceiling or the sky if you're outside. Bound forward fold, keeping the bind. When you feel ready, weight shifts into the right foot. Rise up for your birds of paradise. And keep the hip bones facing forward. This is a tricky shape for me. If you're really tight in the shoulders or the hips, this is a tough one. Just do the best you can. Try to gaze forward rather than down. And coming back down when you're ready, standing splits with the bind. Again, you can always release the bind. The cool thing about this practice is there's no end goal. There's no goal to be able to do a posture. There's no such thing as mastering a pose. There's always something harder. There's always some sort of detail you can change. There's always a way to advance. So it teaches us to really let go of the outcome and just enjoy the process. Enjoy the journey. Make sure you're having fun while you do this. And seeing how changes happen over time through daily habits, repetition, patterns. Having joy in the process. Spinal twist, you'll take your right arm outside of your left thigh, left leg is crossed over the right. And for every inhale, you want to suck your belly out of the way. Try to get all that junk, gush, organs up, suck them in, and exhale, twist. So that you're compressing the blood flow of the organs. And then when you release the twist, fresh blood gets to rush through. It's very detoxifying, very cleansing. As well as the breathing mechanism. Think of breath as like giving your insides a shower. Breath is the mechanism that we release things that are stored inside of the body. Final chaturanga here. You can take cobra or up dog, especially if your arms are tired. Just take cobra. Downward facing dog. Now we move into the closing cool down postures. Half pigeon on the right, You want your knee behind your wrist. Lift your chest. Point your left hip towards the ground. Make sure the shoelace side of your left foot is facing the ground and that your left hip is not facing the side. You want both hips facing forward. Taking a back bend here, you can use your towel or a strap to hook it around your back foot. Bend your knee. Again, make sure that your hips are facing forward. This is really intense. Breathe. Shoulders forward, heart face forward, hips face forward. If you lose your balance here, you can always release your right hand, set it outside of your hip. Try to hold it for 5 full deep breaths. And you want to back out of the pose. See if you instead can breathe. Right? So many times our initial reaction is to get out of a shape we don't like. The magic happens when we learn how to breathe through it and not just do what our instinctive reaction is. If you cannot breathe in a shape, you have pushed yourself too far. Your body's telling you to back off. Sleeping pigeon, curling your arms and chest forward, just relaxing here. So there's so many things we can learn about ourselves by doing these poses, right? What do the thoughts say when something is challenging? And how can we change that dialogue? How can we change by leaning into the breath so that we can rewire ourselves to take a moment to pause and respond rather than just instinctively react. Taking your double pigeon here, you'll have your left shin crossed in front or on top. You want your shins stacked. If that's too intense, you can sit crisscross applesauce with your left leg being in front. Starting to lean forward. You'll feel this in your hips. You want to avoid feeling it in your knees. If you're feeling any pain in your knees, back off. Take a less intense version, such as crisscross applesauce. When I practice on my own, I like to hold these stretches sometimes for several minutes. For the sake of this video, I think I hold for 10 breaths. Remember to keep your breaths long and intentional. Cow face pose. You'll deepen that compression. Crossing the left leg on top of the right. You want your knees to stack. So if we took a picture from the front view, the knees would be in a straight line up and down. The leg that's on top will be the arm that's on top. So left arm is on top. You stretch the tricep. And if you can, you'll reach your right arm back and around. Try to join up the hands. If your shoulders are tight, this might not happen. So you can just grab your shirt, or you can stay with grabbing that left elbow. To intensify, you can lean forward. It puts compression at the hip flexors, compression in the stomach, organs, in the middle of the body, as well as compression in the knees and the ankles. Whenever we do compression poses, you want to avoid bouncing in the shape. You want to just hold steady and breathe. So again, whenever we come out of the shape, you feel the blood rush back through. From here, keep your left leg crossed. Take a figure 4 downward facing dog. So you'll cross your left knee over your right thigh. figure 4 side plank. Whoop. You can always bring your foot down for a different variation. So that's a more supported variation, especially if you're really tight in the hips. And then you'll take pigeon on the left side. So left knee comes behind the left wrist, left toes behind the right wrist. So think of your legs making a number 7 or a reverse number 7. But if your ankle can't get behind your wrist, no worries. You want to avoid pain in the knee. Point the right hip towards the floor, press through the shoelace side of the foot. I'm much tighter on this side of my body. It's much more challenging to do this side. You'll hook your towel around your back foot for the quad stretch and the back bend. And take your elbow up over your head, rotating through the shoulder. Oof. If it's too much and you cannot comfortably breathe, first try to breathe, right? If it's too much, try to breathe. If you can't breathe, you've went too far. But anytime we try anything new, it's always challenging. It's always uncomfortable, right? Growth is uncomfortable. Yoga teaches us how to deal with discomfort in a way that's healthy and productive. Taking sleeping pigeon. And press through the shoelace side of the extended right leg. Again, you're welcome to hold these postures for several minutes when you have the time. For the sake of the video, moving on. Roll onto your left hip, swing your right leg around for seated double pigeon. So you want the shins stacked. This time the right leg is on top or in front. If you're taking the crisscross applesauce variation, your right leg will cross in front of your left. Double pigeon is more intense. Shins stacked. Sit up tall. And sending your hips back, crawl your hands forward. Draw your shoulders away from your ears to lengthen your spine. And as you hold a shape, breathing, you'll feel your body start to release and surrender. So maybe you can take it a little bit deeper. And coming back up. Cow face pose. Right leg on top. Knees stacked. Compression in the knees, thighs, hips. You can add the towel here. Right leg is on top, so that means right arm is on top, right arm is reaching up. Left arm reaches back and around. Try to join up the hands. You might need to tuck your chin to find the grip. Once you get the grip, you're going to try to press the back of your head into the top arm. Try to get the chin lifted from the chest. Hold and breathe. You notice that you're shallow breathing, breathing on autopilot. Try to breathe with intention. When you release, you'll crawl your hands forward. Take your figure 4 downward facing dog with the right leg crossed on top in a number 4 shape. Taking your side plank, left hand is the base. Keeping your ankle crossed, maybe reach your right arm up. And try to press through the arch of the left foot so that you're stretching the ankle, finding range of motion in your left ankle, lower calf. Back to downward facing dog. Release the leg, pedal it out. And coming onto your knees or a seat, however you want to get there. Once you're in a seat, seated forward fold. So flex your feet, lift up tall, move forward over the legs. You want a belly to thigh connection here, so if you need to bend your knees, gaze forward. Pull your heart forward, bring your elbows to the ground, and you can relax your head. This is not about getting your head to touch your legs. It's about your stomach touching your legs. You want to eliminate as much space as possible between the stomach and the legs. Even sucking the stomach up, like you're sucking your belly in, to then lift further towards your knees, further towards your feet. And use the strength of your arms here to actively pull shoulders away from the ears. And scoot yourself forward to come onto your back. Once you're on your back, just take a moment to feel your spine flatten out, feel the support of the floor. Preparing for your final bridge pose. You can take bridge or wheel. This is your final back bend. Lift your hips up to the sky. You want to think of squeezing the hips together, but relaxing the glutes. You want to feel the deepest layers of your internal muscle groups working. You take wheel, press up. Hold for at least 3 breaths. When you come back down, you'll lower your shoulders and then your hips. And take your legs to Baddha Konasana, or bound angled pose, feet to touch, knees open wide. If you notice that your back lifts a ton off the mat, you want to glue that back down. There might be a little bit of space between your spine and the earth, but try to avoid letting it be a lot. You really want to feel the spine lengthen. Pull the belly button down towards the floor. Even if you need to scoot your feet a little bit more towards the front of the mat. Again, working for a flat spine. Take your hands behind your thighs, close them like a book. Bring your right knee to your chest. Cross it over your left leg, supine twist. You can take any variation in the legs here to twist. You can use the support of your top arm, or you can take both arms to a T. Take your gaze over your opposite shoulder. And make sure both shoulders stay glued to the floor. Coming back through center, you'll switch. Left leg cross over the right, supine twist. Legs go to the right, gaze goes to the left. You always want the right leg to be hugged in first, twisting the right leg over and around before the left leg because of ascending and descending colon. You'll feel a gentle stretch in your hip and compression in the hip flexors, the intestines. As you come back to center, and take any final moves you need. So if you need to take a little rock side to side, you can take a happy baby, straighten out your legs one at a time. Just give your back a nice massage. Preparing your way for final Shavasana, give yourself a great big squeeze. Thank yourself for carving out this time to take care of your body. Thank the Lord for your body, for your breath, the privilege to be able to practice, privilege to be able to move. And sitting in silence for a few minutes. Resist the urge to fidget or move. Right, be still. Be very hard for our minds to be still. Recognize the power that you have over your mind. You are in control of your thoughts. Right? Your brain is the hardware, your mind is the software. Your mind is giving all the signals to your body on what to do, to breathe, for the heart to beat, for the muscles to contract, to bend the arm, flex the toes, right? It all starts as a thought in your head, whether you're conscious or unconscious of that thought. And so by the power of the breath, we connect the subconscious thoughts of the autonomous nervous system, the part of the brain that is in the brain stem, part of the brain that's in charge of all of your vital functions to keep you alive. Right? Breathing, heartbeat, digestion. When you link the breath with the element of thinking about the breath, you're creating new neural pathways in your brain, connecting the brain stem with the frontal cortex, a higher, more elevated part of the brain associated with thinking. If you can learn how to control your thoughts in that way by starting with the breath, you'll begin to understand how to take every thought captive and turn it obedient to Christ. The biggest obstacle we have here on earth is our undisciplined minds. That's attached to thinking about stuff all the time. Not being able to turn off our brain. Not being able to ignore thoughts that maybe we don't like. And those thoughts, the undisciplined mind, begin to create attachments to our opinions, our judgments, and our ideas. And that leads us to create a false sense of self. Right? We are not our bodies. We are not our political opinions. We are not our family backgrounds. We are the righteousness of God in Christ. We need to renew our minds to that truth. I hope you enjoyed practicing with me today, just becoming more aware of your body, more aware of your brain, your breath, learning or practicing how to be more present, living your life from the present moment rather than the past or the future playing out in your head. You're ready to come out of your final rest. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms over your head. Take a full body stretch. Roll to your right or left side. And as you're ready, come to a seat. Once you're seated, have your legs crossed.